You did all the work. Marcus gets the promotion. My manager, Sarah, said it like she was announcing the weather. Casual. Final. I sat there in the conference room, laptop open to the project dashboard I'd built from scratch. 6 months of 70-hour weeks. My code. My architecture. My late nights debugging while Marcus posted Instagram stories from happy hours I wasn't invited to. The rest of the team avoided eye contact. Sarah smiled at Marcus like a proud parent. He didn't even look surprised. That's when I knew this wasn't a mistake. This was planned. I don't understand, I said quietly. I led this project. Sarah waved her hand dismissively. Marcus brought fresh perspective. He's better with stakeholders. You're too technical, Ethan. We need someone who can communicate at the executive level. Marcus leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, smirking like he'd just won a poker hand he didn't deserve. I glanced at my screen. Every commit was mine. Every architecture decision document had my name on it. Every client presentation deck I'd built while Marcus was networking at company mixers I couldn't attend because I was fixing the bugs he'd introduced. That night, I sat in my apartment staring at my laptop. My girlfriend, Amy, was visiting her parents for the week. I was alone with the hum of my refrigerator and the rage building in my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't punch walls. I opened a folder I'd been keeping for 2 years. Every email. Every Slack message. Every code commit. Every meeting recording I'd saved because I learned early that in corporate America, the one who documents wins. I'd been documenting since the day Marcus joined the team and Sarah started treating me like furniture. I started typing. Not a resignation letter. Not an angry email. A detailed timeline. Dates, evidence. Code comparison analysis showing Marcus's contributions versus mine. Client testimonials praising the technical architecture by name, my name. I worked until 4 a.m. Then I sent 3 emails. 1 to HR. 1 to our chief technology officer. 1 to the external law firm we used for employment contracts. Then I went to bed, phone on silent, and slept better than I had in months. Because I knew what was coming. The first knock wasn't going to be on my door. The knock came at 9:47 a.m. the next morning. I wasn't there to see it, but my friend Jake, who sat 2 desks from Sarah's office, texted me. HR just walked into Sarah's office with the CTO. Door closed. Blinds shut. I could hear yelling through the wall. I was sitting in a coffee shop 3 blocks away, laptop open, working on my own startup idea. I'd taken a personal day. I didn't want to be in the building when it started. 20 minutes later, Jake texted again. Sarah just came out. Face red. Crying. Marcus got called in next. I sipped my coffee. Waited. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Mr. Harrison? A woman's voice said, professional, clipped. This is Rebecca Chen from HR. We've received your submission regarding project attribution irregularities and potential violations of our intellectual property policies. I need to inform you that we've initiated a formal investigation. We'd like you to remain available for interviews over the next week, but you're not required to come into the office during this period. Paid leave. We take these matters very seriously. I thanked her, hung up, and ordered another coffee. This was just the beginning. The system I'd built wasn't just code. It was a paper trail. And I'd made sure every piece of paper led back to the truth. By noon, the Slack channels were buzzing. Not the official ones, the private side channels where people actually talked. Jake sent screenshots. Apparently, HR pulled Marcus's Git history. Turns out 90% of his commits were copy-pasted code from Stack Overflow, most of it broken, all of it fixed later by me. Then they pulled the client meeting recordings I'd attached to my report. In one video, a client specifically asked Marcus a technical question about the database architecture. He fumbled, looked at me off camera, and I'd answered it. In the final edit Sarah submitted to executives, my voice was cut out. Marcus's fumbling was edited to look like thoughtful consideration. I'd kept the original recording. That afternoon, my phone rang again. This time, it was David Chen, our CTO. Ethan, can we talk? I met him at a neutral location, a restaurant downtown, not the office. He was a good man, maybe 50, someone who'd built his career on actual engineering before climbing to leadership. He looked tired. I owe you an apology, he said. I trusted Sarah's assessment. I didn't verify. That's on me. He slid a folder across the table. We're removing Sarah from her position, effective immediately. Marcus is being let go for policy violations. Your promotion to senior architect is approved, retroactive to the date Sarah made her announcement. And we'd like to discuss a retention package. I didn't open the folder. I just looked at him. What about the others? I asked. The team members who watched this happen and said nothing? David nodded. Fair question. We're conducting a broader review of team culture and management practices. Some people were scared, some were complicit. We'll figure out who's who. I appreciated his honesty, but I wasn't sure I believed it. Corporate investigations had a way of protecting the company, not the truth. But this was a start. I told him I needed time to think. He understood. As I left the restaurant, my phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. We need to talk. Please. I didn't respond. I went home, opened my laptop, and continued working on my exit strategy. Because here's what I'd learned in 6 months of watching my work stolen: companies don't care about justice. They care about liability. The moment my documentation threatened a lawsuit, they moved. Not because it was right, but because it was expensive not to. I wasn't naive enough to think this was over. Sarah had allies, Marcus had friends in other departments, and I just painted a target on my back. So I did what I always do. I documented everything from this day forward. Every conversation, every email, every meeting, because the next knock might be on my door, and I'd be ready. 3 days passed. I stayed on paid leave, working from home, fielding calls from HR, from legal, from the CTO's office. They wanted statements. They wanted timelines. They wanted me to sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for the retention package. I didn't sign anything. I told them I'd consult an attorney first. That's when things got interesting. On day 4, I received a LinkedIn message from a journalist at TechCrunch. I'd seen her byline before, stories about workplace culture in Silicon Valley startups. She said she'd heard rumors about attribution fraud at my company and asked if I'd be willing to talk, off the record. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I called the employment attorney I'd consulted before sending my initial report to HR. She was sharp, mid-40 seconds. Had handled several high-profile tech discrimination cases. Ethan, she said after I explained the situation, you're in a good position. You have evidence. You have their admission of wrongdoing via the investigation. But if you talk to press, you lose leverage. Companies hate public scandals. Right now, they're trying to contain this internally. If you want maximum compensation and job security, stay quiet. If you want to burn it all down and maybe help other people in similar situations, talk. But you can't do both. I thought about it for 2 days. I thought about the junior developers on my team, who watched me get screwed and learned that hard work doesn't matter. I thought about the next person Sarah would manage at her next job. I thought about Marcus, who'd built a career on stealing other people's work. Then I thought about my own future. I was good at what I did. I could get another job. But could I live with staying silent? I made my decision. I called the journalist back. Let's talk. The article dropped on a Tuesday morning. The headline, Inside the Tech Bro Playbook. How one Silicon Valley startup rewarded theft over innovation. It didn't name me. It didn't name the company directly, but anyone in the industry could figure it out from the details. The reporter had done her homework. She'd interviewed former employees. She'd obtained public records of the company's IP filings. She'd even found 2 other engineers at different companies who'd been screwed the same way by Sarah at her previous jobs. The article went viral. Within 6 hours, it was trending on Hacker News and Reddit. By that evening, the company's CEO issued a statement. I woke up the next morning to 47 missed calls. From reporters. From recruiters. From former colleagues. And one from David, the CTO. When I finally called him back, his voice was tight. You went to the press. I did, I said. After your legal team tried to silence me with an NDA that would have prevented me from ever discussing my own work. There was a long silence. Then he said, I get it. I do. But you need to understand what you've done. The board is furious. Investors are asking questions. We're in damage control mode. I'm not sure I can protect you anymore. I told him I didn't ask for protection. I asked for fairness. I got silence instead. So I found another way. He hung up. 20 minutes later, I received an email from HR. My paid leave was being converted to unpaid pending the conclusion of the investigation. Translation, they were freezing me out. I wasn't surprised. I'd expected this. What I didn't expect was the flood of support from the tech community. By that afternoon, I had job offers from 3 competing companies. By the end of the week, I had 7. All of them senior positions, all of them offering more money than my old company had ever paid me. But the real knock came 2 weeks later. I was working from a coffee shop, reviewing an offer from a Series B startup that wanted me to build their entire platform architecture. When Marcus walked in, he looked terrible. Unshaven, dark circles under his eyes. He spotted me, hesitated, then walked over. "Can we talk?" he asked. I gestured to the empty chair. He sat down, hands shaking slightly. "I screwed up," he said. "I know that now. I got caught up in the game. Sarah kept telling me that's how it works. You network. You take credit. You climb. I thought that's what everyone did." I didn't say anything. He continued. "I lost my job. Obviously. But it's worse than that. I can't get interviews. Every recruiter I talk to, they've seen the article. They won't say it directly, but I know. I'm blacklisted." I looked at him. "Good," I said. He flinched. "I know I deserve it," he said quickly. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I wanted you to know I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you that in person." I closed my laptop. "Marcus, do you know what the worst part was? It wasn't that you stole my work. It's that you made me doubt myself. For months, I wondered if maybe Sarah was right. Maybe I wasn't good at stakeholder management. Maybe I was too technical. Maybe I deserved to be passed over. You made me gaslight myself." He looked down at his hands. "I have a therapist now," he said quietly. "She's helping me understand why I did what I did. Insecurity. Imposter syndrome. Fear of being exposed as not good enough." I said, "Those are explanations, not excuses. You had a choice every single day. You chose to lie." He nodded. "I know. I thought you should hear it from me. I'm trying to make amends. I'm working with a career coach. I'm learning to code properly. I'm trying to be better." I stood up, packed my laptop. "I hope you do become better, Marcus. I genuinely do. But not because I forgive you. Because the industry doesn't need more people like who you were. And I'm not going to help you rebuild on the ashes of what you burned." The final knock came a month later. Sarah. She found me at a tech meetup I was speaking at. I'd accepted the job with the Series B startup. I was building something real, something mine. After my talk, she approached me in the hallway. "Ethan," she said, "can we talk?" I looked at her. She'd aged in the past 6 weeks. New lines around her eyes. She'd found another job. I'd heard through the grapevine. A lateral move at a smaller company. Her reputation had taken a hit, but she'd landed on her feet. Managers always did. "What do you want, Sarah?" I asked. "I wanted to apologize," she said. "What I did to you was wrong. I let politics and optics cloud my judgment. You were the best engineer I ever managed, and I threw that away because Marcus was better at playing the game. I sacrificed merit for perception. I was wrong." I looked at her carefully. "You know what's interesting?" I said. "You're apologizing now. After the article. After the consequences. After your career took a hit. Where was this apology when you had the power to make it right? When you could have promoted me and Marcus could have learned from someone better instead of being handed something he didn't earn?" She swallowed hard. "I was scared," she admitted. "Scared of looking bad to executives. Scared of admitting I'd made a mistake. Scared of losing my own position. I let fear make me a coward. And I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday." I shook my head. "Sarah, forgiveness is for people who've earned it through changed behavior, not just words. You taught me something valuable. You taught me that in corporate America, you can't trust people to do the right thing just because it's right. You have to make it more expensive to do the wrong thing. You have to document. You have to protect yourself. Because no one else will." She looked like she might cry. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel victorious. I just felt tired. "I hope your next team is luckier than I was," I said. "I hope you remember this lesson when someone under you does brilliant work and someone else tries to take credit. I hope you find the courage next time." I walked away. I didn't look back. Because here's the truth I'd learned: some people apologize because they're sorry. Some apologize because they want to be forgiven so they can stop feeling guilty. Sarah wanted absolution. I wasn't a priest. I was just a guy who'd learned to fight back. 6 months later, I'm thriving. My team at the new company is building something incredible. I have equity. I have respect. I have a title that matches my contributions. But more importantly, I have something I didn't have before: clarity. I know my worth now. I know that hard work alone isn't enough. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to document your wins. You have to be willing to walk away from people and places that don't value you. And sometimes, you have to be willing to burn bridges that were never really supporting you in the first place. I still get messages from people who read the article. Junior engineers asking for advice. Women and minorities who've had their work stolen. People who feel powerless in systems designed to protect the powerful. I tell them all the same thing: keep records. Build leverage. Know your value. And never, ever let someone else narrate your story. Because the moment you hand them the pen, they'll write you out of your own success. Marcus is working at a boot camp now, teaching beginners. I heard through mutual connections that he's actually good at it. Humbled, patient. Maybe almost losing everything taught him something. I hope so. Sarah's still managing teams. I don't know if she's changed. I don't follow her career anymore. That chapter is closed. But I think about them sometimes. About how they probably tell the story differently. How, in their version, maybe I'm the villain. The whistleblower who ruined careers over a misunderstanding. That's fine. They can have their version. I have the truth. And the truth is this: I didn't win because I was the smartest or the most talented. I won because I was the most prepared. I won because I understood that in a world where people rewrite history to suit their narratives, the person with the receipts gets to set the record straight. I won because I refused to be erased. And that's a lesson I'll carry forever. Into every job, every project, every relationship, professional or personal. You teach people how to treat you. And I taught them that I'm not someone you can steal from and expect silence. So if you're reading this, if you're in a similar situation, here's my advice: start documenting today, not tomorrow. Today. Every email, every contribution, every meeting where someone takes credit for your idea. Build your case before you need it. Because the knock is coming. Maybe it's on their door first, if you're lucky and prepared. Maybe it's on yours if you're not. But either way, the knock is coming. And when it does, you better be ready to show them exactly who did the work, who told the truth, and who deserves to walk away with their head held high. That person should be you.